Hello, I just wanted to do a video because I'd had some questions about the directions for that group work preparatory to SA2. So let me get that up on the screen and walk you through that a little bit. I understand the instructions are pretty complicated and long. It's one of these cases where it may take you longer to read it than actually do it. It's you just need to take it step by step. So, okay, all right. So you're working to summarize and do some things with some short texts. I call it a group project, but there's not really anything that you need to. You're not really working together in any very collaborative way. You're just working with some of the same texts, so you don't have to, get together to talk about this or anything. So you'd start by, if you go down to the bottom, there's a list for each of the classes about what, that gives you a Google Doc, which is where you're going to put your information. And it also has the link that you need to get to the short articles. So I'm going to look at one of these, the regular start ones, because they have some stuff up. So if you click on the green here, it brings you to a Google Doc. And that's where, and this is Google, if in case any of you aren't familiar with Google Docs, it saves things automatically. Everybody who gets on here should be able to edit it. I'm on an iPad here, so I'd have to edit it. I'd have to click on this pencil in the lower right. But if you're on a regular computer, you should be able to just click on here and start typing. So let me show you what's here, and then I'll go back to the instructions. So we've got, each student has picked an article and to summarize. 3 sentences, that's all you've got. These are relatively short articles. Let's click in here. Let's look at the articles here first. Okay, so this... These are all in the New York Times. It's in a section called Room for Debate that's now defunct. But what that did was they had a question. I'm not sure if it was every week, or I'm not sure what the frequency was, but they would start with a question and then they would invite, usually it's between 4 and 6 people to weigh in on some aspect of the question. They're organized by... you can't see it here, but they're organized by topic. So there were a bunch of food ones, so I just picked some of the food ones. So what you would do is you click into on your Google Doc, click into click the link at the top. It'll bring you to one of these questions. And then each person needs to pick one of these, however many there are. And then once you've picked it, you put your name and the article title to claim it. And then, let's see, we'll go back to the... So let me show you what they look. So you click here, and see these are really short. They're usually, I don't know, 4 or 5, 6 paragraphs, something. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to go back. No, I'm going to go back here. Okay, so Alex has done this one. He did a 3-sentence summary. Somebody else, in this case Samantha, somebody else needs to... Okay, what Alex did was the summary. He did the works cited, and then he may have revised the summary based on what Samantha said. And then she looked at his summary. She would have to read his article, look at the summary, and then did a critique of it. I think they forgot one of the steps. Let's go back and look. Okay, so you get into your Google Doc, look at the articles, pick an article. And here are the instructions. There's some information here above this about works cited, which is, works cited is a complicated issue, but for the benefit for this particular assignment, everybody's all got the same basic type of article. So the works cited is basically going to look like this, with the author's last name, comma, first name, period, quotation marks, title of the article, period inside the quotation marks. Note the capitalization, words are capitalized. The main words are capitalized, not prepositions of, on. Those types of words aren't capitalized. Articles, a, an, and the are the three articles in English. And conjunctions, and those type of words. But nouns, pronouns, adjectives, adverbs, etc. are capitalized. The name of the publication is in italics. In this case, it'd be the New York Times. Date of the publication, below and here you'll see 12 July 2017. That's MLA format. Day, month, year. The months are spelled out for the short ones, May, June, and July. The rest of them are abbreviated. September is SEPT period, and the other ones are 3 letters, the usual 3-letter abbreviations, JAN for January, FEB period for February, etc. There's a lot of that kind of picky detail with citation. Don't waste brain cells trying to memorize it all. The next assignment, we'll talk some more about how to do citation for more complicated or different types of sources. But for the purposes of this little exercise, this will serve you fine. Okay, so now you're going to look down at these bullet points here. Here are the instructions. Each person will first write a 3-sentence summary. Okay, put your name on it. And then you're going to review, misspelled. Then once you've done your summary, find somebody else's summary and review it. Put your name at the top, as you saw on the Google Doc we looked at. Don't change their summary, but at the bottom, put some comments in terms of, is it accurate? Does it have as much information as you think you can pack into 3 sentences? Is it objective? Is it reflecting back what the author said, not what the author of the original article, not the student writer said? Is it in the writer's own words, unless they're quotation marks for a short quotation? You want to make sure that there isn't any unintentional plagiarism slipping in where the student writer is copying or more or less copying with just a few changes the original. Is it properly formatted? The summary should start. This wasn't the case on the Google Doc we looked at, but the summary should include the author's name and the title of the article in the first sentence. If there's any awkward wording, you could suggest changes, but don't make changes on the original. So there are some other somewhat repetitive questions here that you could include in your review. Then once somebody's reviewed your article, your summary, go back to it and you can revise it based on their comments as you see fit. This is the part that didn't get done on that Google Doc. Below each article, indicate briefly what 3 possible responses might be. So these are 3 things that you might have thought as you were reading the article. It may be surprise, it may be questioning where some of the data came from, it may be questioning some of the logic, it may be thinking of a counterexample or a counter-argument, it may be some personal thing that happened to you that connects in terms of food, it may be something about your own eating habits or whatever, depending on what the topic is. You can make up something if you want. The point of this is to understand the idea between summarizing, where you're purely trying to reflect back what the author is saying, and putting in your 2 cents, adding your thoughts. And so this is just brief. You can do bullet points here, just a brief, sentence or part of a sentence. And then the next thing to look at look at the other articles that the other people wrote about. You maybe can do this by looking at their summaries rather than, you don't necessarily have to read the whole article, all the rest of the articles, but is there some way that your article connects to some of the other ones? So those other 4 or 5 articles on the page that had the question and then the different articles there. Does it basically say the same thing as one of the other articles? Does it contradict one of the other articles? Does it is it looking at a different aspect from a different angle? Just an indication of, a couple relationships that you notice between your article and one of the other articles. And then to do the works cited entry, which I tend to refer to in my face-to-face classes as author, title, blah-de-blah, because it usually starts with an author and a title, and then there's other information depending on what type of source you have. Okay, so I hope that helps. I'm going to post this video on the blog, and if you have any questions, let me know.